No. Yes.
Skilled communication.
Yes, skilled communication. What else? What? No, I'm not asking you to go over it based on MCE. I'm just saying, what do you think as an educator? Generally, what are those skills you feel that in present day, beyond the normal medicine, law, accounting, which are, yes, everything every child wants to go to school and learn, but there are specific skills that are important that children should have in your classroom. So what do you think those skills are? That's my question. Yes.
So I see that for learning. And teacher will be as a student will be
That what? Okay. So there are some things that are very important that children should be able to do. One, children should be creative. Children should be, we expect that in this generation, children should be very creative. Children should be able to think. Children should be able to communicate. They should be able to work as a team. Is this clear with us?
Yes.
So now those are not skills that are in, let's say they are not skills that you get from learning 2+2. But when you're teaching the 2+2, how do you teach your 2+2 that they can come along with the skills? So that's basically what we're talking about when we talk about the MCE. Now, there are basic skills in line with MCE, and one of them is collaboration. The other is skilled communication, knowledge construction, like you have said, self-regulation, real-world problem solving and innovation, and then the use of ICT. I cannot overemphasize the use of ICT because we are now in a technologically driven age. We're in an age where children come out of the womb and know what phone is. So you cannot now be teaching a child that was born into a digital age and you're saying that child should not use technology. It's not going to work. In fact, they won't want to even be in your class because the life and the world they are born into is driven by technology. Now you're going to write an exam and the questions will be approximately 37 to 40 questions, depends, but it's a 1 hour and there are different formats for the exam. There's multiple choice, single answer, there's multiple choice, multiple answer. So we'll go over some of these things. There's best answer, there's extended matching and dropping and all that. So we'll look over the exam, the format for the exam. Now we'll start with the first one, which is collaboration. And we're starting with what does it mean to collaborate? What form does it take? What skills do we need to be able to engage effectively in collaboration? So collaboration, a lot of times people just say, collaboration. I do collaboration in my class. Collaboration is beyond you saying A, B, C, sit together and you assign them work to do. That's just an elementary aspect of collaboration. That children sit in a group and they are working is an elementary aspect of collaboration. We need to go beyond that. We need to look deep down into what collaboration really is. So in looking at collaboration, there are 4 steps. There are 4 steps. And these 4 steps, the first one is called the working together. So yes, there's a working together.
Sorry, can you hear me? Hello?
Yes, I can hear you.
Just 1 minute, okay? 1 minute, 1 minute. There's something I want to adjust before we continue, okay?
Okay.
Okay, you can continue, please. Hello, can
Okay.
you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yeah, continue.
So the other level is shared responsibility. So that's the second level in collaboration. The third level in collaboration is substantive decision. And the fourth level is called the interdependent work. The fourth level is called the interdependent work. Now let's dive in and see how this plays out. So the first one we said is working together. What does working together mean? Working together happens when the activity requires them to work in pairs or groups. Can you all hear me?
Yes, you are clear.
Okay. So either they are working together in pairs, so you just put two people together, or they're in groups of maybe 3, 4 students together to either discuss an issue, solve a problem, or create a product. So grouping them alone is the first stage. That's working together. You have put them in a group with a goal that they need to work together. That's the first stage. Now, and it's not compulsory that it must be only students within their classroom. So, for example, let's say you teach a subject like Hausa language, and you teach across 2 age grade levels. So you can say, okay, I'm pairing them together to come up with a play. So this grade level and this grade level are mixing the students together to come up with a play. So it could also be even among the same grade level. So let's say 1A, 1B. So I can pair students from 1A with students from 1B to work together. So it's not restricted to just students in the classroom. It can also be outside their community. It can also be outside their community. So sometimes, let me give an example. I want to teach my children on marketing or something that has to do with finance. I have some parents that are probably work in banks, and I would have assigned my student projects, and I can talk to those parents as, okay, this is what we want to do. I want you to be mentors working with our students. So it's not just working together, is not just within your classroom. You can even use technology in your working together. So for example, like the question I talked about now with a parent, you can say, okay, we want volunteer parents. Or for example, like when we do inter-house sports, we always have some parents will say, okay, this parent is the patron of this house. This parent is the patron of the other house. Excuse me. And they might want to work with the children. Now, for such parents, working with those children might not even have the time to come in to be able to meet with the children. But as the subject teacher, you can arrange in such a way that they meet over maybe Microsoft Teams, Zoom, Skype, any of the video conferencing app. They can use that as a point where they meet to share ideas, to share resources, and also to, solve the issue, come up with ideas. So working together can be outside your classroom. It can be enabled using technology. So don't restrict it to being that. For example, I was talking to a teacher and I said, oh, you're going to be teaching on the teeth. And I was asking the teacher, I said, how many years have you been working? And the teacher said, oh, I've been working for about 15 years now. I said, if you've been working for 15 years, then it means you probably have a student that has graduated from university. That is even maybe a medical doctor. And the teacher said, oh, yes, I have lots of my students that are graduates. I said, have you ever thought of having a conversation? Call that student and say, I'm going to be teaching on the teeth, and I want you to join my class between 8 a.m. Maybe my class is 8 a.m. to 8:40. And I said, oh, I'm going to set up a Zoom. I'm going to set up a Teams or a Skype. Can you join my class by 8 a.m. and have a conversation with my students about how to care for their teeth? You're using technology. Now that's you bringing in, a lot of times we think that we need to do a lot of magic for this thing. We don't. So I might be teaching about a part of the body, and I have a student who probably studied, some of us have been teaching for so many years that we have children who are graduates. Or I'm teaching about money, and I have a student who works in the bank right now. I can call up that my student and say, my class for tomorrow is about money. Would you be willing to speak to my students for 5 minutes on this concept? Trust me, the children will be so excited. In fact, when they get home, their parents will not hear something that day, because for them it's a wow and it's mind-blowing. So all you do is just connect your laptop, and the children will have, that person will join you, and you have that one-on-one interaction. They've learned something. Now, the beauty of that is it makes the children even connect what you're teaching them to the real life. So they are more connected. So working together goes beyond that. So now let's look at what the yes and no of working together is. So when we say working together, there are some things that we look at and we say students are working together. It's not working together. For example, the whole class is discussing an issue. That cannot be termed as working together. If they are working together, they must be in small groups or they must be in peers, even if it's just to give feedback. For example, I mark students' scripts and I finish marking and I say, okay, exchange your scripts together and give yourself feedback on what you think you could have improved. Read her essay and tell her what you think she can improve on her essay. They're giving themselves feedback. It's working together. So that's an aspect of working together. But a whole class or you as the teacher giving feedback is not termed as working together. or the students sitting alone is not termed as working together. Is there any questions before I move to the next one? Any questions? Okay. Now, the next level, after they have worked together, meaning after they have been put in groups or they have been paired, the next level is what we now call shared responsibility. The next level is what we now call shared responsibility. What does shared responsibility means? Shared responsibility means students share what they are expected to do. For example, I have asked students to come up with a story on a famous warrior in the north. They should pick one of the famous warriors they know in the north, or pick one of the tribes in the north and do a presentation on it. You know, we do cultural day. We do cultural day, Abi?
Yes.
So maybe we want to do cultural day, and I'm asking them for your cultural day, go and pick any tribe and work on that tribe. Now, shared responsibility comes out when students now begin to say, your own is you are going to do the cardboard paper that we are going to use for our presentation, the design and all that. You are going to be the one to get the pictures, or maybe XYZ, that is your own tribe, that's where you're from. So you're going to help us ask questions from your parents on the type of food, on your clothing, on your peer religion, or on, you know, things about your tribe. They've shared the work, how they want it. They've shared the responsibility. It's not that one person, the class captain, is the one doing everything. They have shared the responsibility on who is going to do what, at what point, and everything. Everybody has something they are bringing on board. Everybody has something. So the students collectively own responsibility to the outcome of their work. That is shared responsibility. On whatever the product, the design, or whatever it is, even if it's a debate that they are going to do. In debate, of course, we know that when we do debate, you might have 3-4 people on a team speaking for, and another 3-4 speaking against. They share responsibility. You are going to speak from A to B. You are going to speak from C to D. You are going to speak from E to F. They have shared responsibility amongst themselves. They have decided how they will run around their project. So when you now do that one, they have just, so first you have put them in group. You have a task you want them to do, which you have given to them, and then you assign them in groups to do that task. Then they now, while you assign them in groups, they now go ahead and decide who would implement which part of that task. That's the second part of collaboration. So that's why I said collaboration is beyond you putting the children in groups. And if you look at this, it did not say the teacher is the one deciding who is going to do what. It is the children taking ownership. And we're not saying, oh, MCE said the children should take ownership. You still guide, but you're not giving them your idea to work with. Instead, they are bringing their ideas to you, and you probably help them to fine-tune it. Your work is a guide, a facilitator. That's your work, to guide, to mentor. That's your job. Now, the yes and the no. Students conduct a lab experiment together. Students had joint responsibility for carrying out the lab experiment. They have joint responsibility, meaning it's not only one person that did the entire experiment, or it's not only one person that has worked on the entire presentation. The other one is students gave each other feedback. One student owned the work and the others are only helping. So, you know, there's a difference between, I think you should have thought about the food that they eat in that their culture. We're looking at the Tiv tribe in Benue State. I think you should have thought about the type of clothes they wear. Why are you saying I think we should have thought about the type of clothes? Why don't you go and research the type of clothes they wear and come back and say, the type of clothes, this is my own research. Not that you are just sitting down and saying, no, you should have painted that thing green. Why didn't you help and paint it green? What part have you played? Not just giving. And even sometimes it happens amongst us, even as educators, when they put us in committee to do something. You know, there are some people that are specialists in saying, well done, you have tried. They are very good at saying well done, but they will never say, which one can I do? Which one can I help you with? Their own work is well done. So that's what we're saying. Let children understand that well done is not teamwork. Well done is not doing the job. Doing the job is taking a part of the job and getting it done. We need to teach children that. Now, a student works with a peer in another country. Like I said, it's not compulsory that it must be in the same class. It's not compulsory that they might be in the same state. For example, let's say I'm from Rivers State and I'm in Abuja. And then my children need to work on something about a particular tribe in Rivers State. I might not be from that very tribe in Rivers State, but I can link them with someone. I call the person and we'll have a Zoom or a Skype or a Teams, and they get all the information they want. They have worked with somebody and they share their responsibility. So that person will even probably send them some materials, or help them with a part of the presentation that makes their work complete at the end of the day. Now, here is another one. It says, a team of 4 students designed a website about an portal. Each of the students contributed the tasks, the visuals related to a different book the author had written. For example, I'm not too conversant with the books they read these days, but in those days when we went to school, I know we used to do the, let's say you were reading on Things Fall Apart by Chinua Achebe, and then children have to come up with something about Chinua Achebe. So people are contributing different things. So some people, their job might just be to get pictures of Chinua Achebe that we can put on our poster during our presentation. Oh, are there specific quotes that are peculiar to Chinua Achebe? There are some people that their job is to get it. Oh, are there books that have been written by Chinua Achebe? There are some people that are to get the pictures, find a way of getting the pictures of those books. We do everything, we put it together. That makes it shared responsibility. Everyone is doing something. But whereby only 2 people will do the entire work and the other 2 are just saying, well done. It doesn't work that way. That cannot be termed as shared responsibility, because not everyone has actually contributed or taken responsibility for a part of that work such that it makes an impact. Now, the other one, which is the 3rd one, is called the substantive decision. And we talk about substantive decision when it comes to the content, the process, and the product. So the content, which is the knowledge on that issue. How do we go about it? Please, let children decide. A lot of times, especially when I realize, especially when it's a school activity, and maybe something that is going to be inter-class, teachers want to do the work for the children. Leave them alone. Please let them be children. Let them think. Don't do it for them. You're taking a whole lot away from their knowledge and from their process of learning when you're the one doing it. Let them think. Let them come up with the ideas. Just help them fine-tune it when they are done. Let them think of the process. Even when we say debates, sometimes the teachers will say, no, I don't want A to start as the speaker. Let B start. And maybe the children are the one are saying, no, I think A should be the first speaker for this debate. Leave them alone. Let them make those decisions. A lot of times we are so afraid of our children failing, but we forget that even in failure, there is learning. Let children begin to know what it means to be responsible and take ownership of what they are doing. The products, the design, let them take ownership. I think we should use green color when we're doing our own presentation. And the teacher will be saying, don't use green. You know that when they tell you, I think we should ask them why. See through it with them. Because the truth is, if the green is what they want, you'll be amazed how they will explain that green and convince whoever is supposed to be judging or grading them. Unlike when you say, no, don't use green. No, green is a dull color. You need to use yellow so that once you come out, everybody will see you. The yellow that they are not interested in, they will come out. Yes, they are in yellow, but because they have not taken ownership, they can't even deliver like you want them to deliver. So let them take ownership of the content, the process, and the product of what you want them to deliver. And also we have the yes and the no. So students devise a plan for creating their music video for International Children's Day. So yes, International Children's Day is coming. Am I the one that is choosing everything the children would do? Am I asking the children, okay, it's International Children's Day, what do you want to do? Would you let them come up? They might say, this year's International Children's Day, we want to do drama competition, and this is how we want the play to go. Let them come up with it. For our own class, I think we should just do art exhibition. Let them come up with it. Then they decide the entire process of their work. And they look at how they want their final product to look like. It helps them take ownership. Even us, I always say sometimes, let's think of ourselves as adults. When something is not you, yes, you're doing it, but you're not able to put yourself into it because it's not you. I'll give you an example. My students had to go out for a debate, and the director called them. She was trying to give them points on what to speak about. The children quietly told her, excuse me, ma, can we please come up with our own points? And she was looking at them that day like, what do you mean? Like I'm the adult. I know the key points and things. And one of the students said something. He said, ma, so that I can take ownership of it. And that was when my director kept quiet. Because that's the truth. If she's the one coming up with those points and giving them, you will see the way she would deliver. Compared to you saying, for this one, is on politics. So you have to cite this, you have to cite this. I'm not saying don't help. I'm not saying don't, but let them come up with their own. You cannot guide them and fine-tune it so that they can take full ownership of the process. I don't know if this is clear with us. Is this clear with us? Is this clear? Okay, good. So now students discuss which capital city to choose for their project based on what they knew of the political system of each country, and the students negotiated their idea. So just like, for example, I said, we want to do cultural day and we want to represent tribes in the north. Don't choose for them. Ask them, which tribe do you think you want to represent? Because they are the ones coming up with it, they will even go and research and find out more. But when you are the one suggesting it to them, they keep waiting for you to keep bringing in the ideas they need to work with. So let children take ownership of whatever they are doing. Let them take ownership of whatever they are doing. Any questions, please? Any questions, please?
No.
Okay. Okay. Now, the next one is interdependent work. What do we mean by interdependent work? Interdependent work means that in the end, when children are submitting their project, if there were 4 students that were assigned to work on that project, there should be an input from all 4 students. If the input on the final project is only showing 2 students, if the final input is only reflecting what 2 students have done, then it is not interdependent work. It is only interdependent work when it reflects what all 4 students have done. When it reflects the idea, the concepts, everything reflects what all 4 students have done. If it is only reflecting what 2 of the students have done, it is not interdependent work. If an assignment is given during class, you give an assignment during class activity, and you put the children in group to work on it, and only 2 students worked on it, it is not interdependent. It means that collaboration did not reach its final level. It means that collaboration did not get to the final stage. Because at the end of the day, it doesn't, I mean, collaboration means all of us worked together and all of us did something for this thing to be at its final stage. So if the final work does not reflect that, then collaboration has not fully taken place. Is this clear with us, please? Is this clear with us, please?
Yes.
Okay. Now, when we talk about interdependent work, we have the individual accountability, we have the group accountability. The individual accountability means that each student, each individual, each child, each learner is responsible for a task that he or she must complete in order for the group to do its work. So if students were to research on the body parts, there should be something that shows what A has done, what B has done, and what C has done. We should be able to look at the work and say, okay, it was John that did this part, and this other part was done by Rosemary, and the other part was done by Peter, and the other part was done by Vivian. We should be able to see that in their final presentation. Not that when we see, and you should know, because it's expected that you know your learners, you know their strengths. So you should be able to see a reflection that, wow, this part actually reflected that John's input, because I know John is a very good artist. So for the drawing to have come out well, then it means that John helped out. But if I know that John is a very good artist, and then the drawing they are presenting does not make any sense, it means that John didn't take part, because there's no way John would have taken part in that presentation and the drawing would have come out that way. Then we also talk about, so it means that the role of each of the students in the team is essential. Now, the other one is group accountability. Students must work together to produce the final product or outcome. They must negotiate and agree. Not that one person is imposing their idea or thoughts. Class captain, I am the class captain, so what I say is final. No. They must negotiate and agree on the process. They should have gone through the process of negotiating, agreeing, and make final conclusion of their work. That shows the peak of collaboration. Is this clear with us, please? Is this clear with us?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, yes and no. Group members each research a different internal system of frogs. Learners then work together to dissect a frog and write a lab report about the dissection. Identifying so all of them work together. But the no is group members work together, research, but each learner conducts their own and writes their own reports. So they all submit an individual report. Not that they submit one report showing what everyone has done on behalf of the group. Now we have what we call the rubric. The rubric. So level 1, students are not working together. I'll give an example. If you see a question and they say students engage in whole class discussion, that is level 1. Students engage in whole class discussion. Students engage in whole class discussion. That is level 1. It means that they were not even put in pairs. They were not put in group at all. That is level 1. Level 2, students are working together. Means they've been put in group. Level 2, they've been put in group or they've been paired together, but they are not sharing responsibility. Level 3 now means they've gone beyond the part where they are put in groups. Now they have started sharing responsibility. Level 4 means they've gone past sharing responsibility. They are now making substantive decision. And then the level 5 is where the product is now interdependent. It means everyone's idea, inputs was brought together so that their project can be successful. So like I was saying, you can have a situation where you're just at level 1 or 2, and you can have that work you do that will require it to get to level 5. We are not saying that for every class it must be at level 5. No. There are some activities that require them to be at level 2. There are some activities that require them to get to level 4. And there are some activities that they would need to get to level 5. So, but the point is, in every school, as you plan for the term, ensure that your process for the whole term gets the children to level 5. The activities or the assessment I have planned for the whole term should be such that my learners can get to level 5. Not that they pass through me and finish and the highest they ever get to is level 3. I don't engage them enough for them to walk to that point where they get to level 5. Very important as we plan our lessons. Now, let me ask this question. How many of us know about the Bloom's taxonomy? How many of us know of Bloom's taxonomy? Is there anyone? Is there anyone that has heard of Bloom's? Eh?
Yes.
No, but I expect that at least if you've done a course in education, you should have come across Bloom's taxonomy. Now, if you look at Bloom's taxonomy, you know that the Bloom's taxonomy is in hierarchy, isn't it? Bloom's taxonomy is in hierarchy, isn't it?
Yes. It is.
Eh?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Now, is it every lesson that children get to the peak of Bloom's taxonomy? Eh? Do you understand? But we make sure that we work towards that before the end of that term. I should have hit those goals. So those are the things we're saying. So this is a flow diagram. Students are working together. If you can see that students are working together, that means they've been put in pairs or groups. The question shows that students are in pairs or groups. That's level 1. But if that's level 2, but if it is not, it's level 1. If it is a yes, it's level 2. If it's a no, it's level 1. Now, students are sharing responsibility. If it is a yes, it goes to level 3. But if it's a no, it's level 2. Is this clear with us, please? Is this clear with us? Any question, please? Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Okay, the next one is going. Just keep going.
Can you hear me? Okay. So this is just a flow diagram for the rubrics. Okay. So if students are making substantive decision, if we can see that it is a yes, we'll go to level 4. If it's a no, it stays at level 3. Then if the work or the product is interdependent, then it is level 5. But if it's a no, it stays at level 4. Now, the next one we want to look at is the skilled communication. The next one we want to look at is the skilled communication. And when we talk of skilled communication, we're talking of extended communication, multimodal, requires supporting evidence, and designed for a particular audience. Extended communication. Extended communication means students are not writing one word or one sentence for you. I give students a prompt. Can they think and be able to come up with a paragraph in response of what I've just prompted them on? Not just a phrase or a sentence. Extended communication could take the form of videos linked together to illustrate several ideas. Please, can they all hear me? Can they hear me?
Yeah, the network is poor. The network is poor.
Okay, have you been able to fix that?
Yes, I just off and on. So can you go on? Let's see.
Okay, so I said extended communication is required when students must produce communication that represents a set of connected ideas, not a single thought. Did you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. So when students can be able to write a paragraph at least, not just a single thought. Maybe I give students, Christmas is coming, and I ask students, what is your perception of Christmas? And students can write a paragraph on it. Not just, Christmas is the time we celebrate the birth of Jesus, and that's the end. They don't know anything else. That's not extended communication. Where they can actually really express.
So I'm going to turn off.
Hello?
I'm going to turn off our camera now. Yes. Okay, can you hear? Just keep going. Let's see the network. It is going to be better now.
Okay. So the communication must be students' own work. Not that they just go and copy from the internet or take a textbook and copy from the textbook. I hope it's better now and they can hear me.
Yes.
Okay. So even if they are going to use visuals, those visuals should be able to communicate very well and connect with the idea that is being passed across. Now, the other one is a student wrote a paragraph in response of an essay prompt. That's extended communication. Because when you're writing a paragraph, it means that there are a lot of things you have to put together to come up with it. But if a student is writing one sentence, that cannot be extended communication. That cannot be extended communication. So those are the things we look out for when we talk about extended communication. Now, the next one we talk about is the multimodal communication. Can you hear me or do you want me to hold on?
Go back to the previous one, then it was cutting. So both of them said you did not get the previous one, just go back to it and start.
Okay.
Okay, you said extended communication. Extended communication. Yes, this one.
Okay, so I said extended communication is where students are not just, for example, I said we're in the Christmas is around the corner, and then I'm asking children, what do you know about Christmas? And all they can say is, Christmas is when we celebrate the birth of Jesus. That is not termed extended. That's a one sentence thing. But if they can now give me details, Christmas is the period where we celebrate the birth of Jesus. It was founded in so and so year. The first set of people who celebrated Christmas were so and so people. They're already writing up to a paragraph. It means they have full knowledge of what they are bringing on board. That is extended communication. Or they have visuals, images to show about Christmas or things people do during Christmas, how people spend their Christmas, how it is celebrated. That is extended communication. So basically, what are we saying? Students can write details not just a one sentence or a one word. So that is called extended communication. And then in that communication, it must be the student's own work. We're not saying that children should not go and research from the internet, but when you research, or maybe you don't, we're not saying they should not give them their storybook. They want to write on Alice in Wonderland. Yes, they have the book on Alice in Wonderland. They have read the book on Alice in Wonderland. However, when they present to you their essay, it is not photocopy. Not that they've gone to write word for word from the book. They have been able to summarize it using their own idea, and or probably even bringing it into their own present scenario. That is what we termed extended communication, not something that they copy. So I hope this is clear with us.
Yes.
Okay. So here it says the students wrote a paragraph in response to an essay prompt. There's no way you're writing a paragraph that you will not bring in 2 or 3 ideas together. Unlike when you write a short answer or a one-sentence answer. So that's where the extended communication is coming in from. Student hosted a webinar to present on different topics about their city to peers in their sister city and answered follow-up questions. They hosted. You know what it means that you hosted? That means you are the one giving out the information. It's different from you participating. You're just listening. You're not contributing. So if you host an event, that means you are already prepared. You will probably even need to answer questions from the people you're presenting to, unlike when you are just participating. The next one I want to talk about is the multimodal communication. Multimodal communication is when it includes more than one type of communication mode or tool. More than one type. For example, students might create a presentation that integrates video and text, or embed a photograph. Now, whatever they are using to be able to produce a stronger message, not that it is going to give the same message as. For example, I do a video, I do an audio. It is the same thing in the video that is in the audio. In fact, in the video, maybe I just sat down and I was narrating. I didn't show any picture. I didn't do anything to help you understand better. Then I now go and do a video audio where I'm also narrating. Please, that is not a multimodal. Because it is the same thing in the video that is in the audio. There's no difference. The video or the audio does not help me understand it better. Or I write an essay and submit it to you. And then I do a voice recording where I just read what was in the essay and submitted. Please, it is not termed multimodal. I'm just repeating the same process using different means. It is multimodal when the other one enhances the knowledge that the first one is bringing. For example, I'm teaching about the heart. I'm going to be talking on the heart, and I'm showing images of the heart. That is multimodal because that image gives a better, helps you understand better what I'm trying to say. Helps you understand. I'm teaching on the teeth and I'm showing image on the teeth. Yes, when you look at that image, then you understand that, oh, this is where the molar is. This is where the premolar is. This is where the cannon is. Gives you it must communicate a stronger message. Helps you understand better. That is termed multimodal. Not that it's just the same thing, but just presented in different formats. We can't call that multimodal. I hope this is clear with us.
Yes. But your slide is still on extended communication.
I can't hear you.
Your slide is still on extended communication.
Wow.
Yes.
Did you guys log out or something happened?
Change your slide.
I have changed my slide from my own end is on multimodal. From my own end is on multimodal. That's why I'm asking that question. Okay, let me stop share. Hold on, let me stop share and reshare. Because from my own end, it's Can you see my slide now? Please, what can you see now?
I see a blank screen. Okay, stop back. We now have multimodal communication.
Oh, it came up as well. Sorry, when you said it was blank, I was trying to stop share and reshare. So let me share again.
Okay.
What can you see?
Still blank. Finish, you need to sing it. It has come.
What can you see? Okay. So, like I said, the multimodal means, yes, the multimodal means that it communicates a stronger message, not that it's the same thing, just in different format. So it's like, I love to read. I read a text and I have the audio book. Now the audio book and the text is exactly the same. It's just that maybe if I'm a visual person, I will understand the reading the book. But if I'm an auditory person, I would understand better when I listen to the audio. But it doesn't mean that it's communicating or it's enhancing. No. So it should be able to enhance it. It should be able to give you a better or a stronger interpretation for it to be termed multimodal. So here, a team of students created a radio advertisement for their new invention, choosing to use an audio rather than print media because they thought it would be more compelling if they could use sound. Now, the no is student created a radio advertisement for their new invention as assigned by the teacher. So please, if you, for any reason, you see a question that says the teacher, please, without thinking twice, tick it as a no. Because the truth is, the MCE curriculum. Hello?
You're a bit fast, please.
So can you see my screen?
I'm not saying yes or no, but can you this? That's why.
Okay, so can you see it now?
Yes.
Okay. So anything that involves you as the teacher is a no. You're not expected to, you're expected to let the children do the work. Let the children do the work. Let the children do the work, please. And I know a lot of times people will say, oh, they're primary school children. Yes, they're primary school children, even the nursery school children, but you can create that safe space for them to work. You can create that safe space for them to work. Now, my slide is on requiring supportive evidence. Can we see that?
Yes.
Okay. Now, what does supporting evidence mean? It means let children work with facts and real figures. So yes, we've been hit by COVID-19, even though it was not severe. Now, I'm asking children to write about the nation that was most hit by COVID-19 and why they think so. They should not just come and tell me, I think the nation that was most hit by COVID-19 was the US. Why are you saying the US? You should be able to produce facts and figures. So teach children to communicate with evidence. Now, there just might be that child in your class that will end up being a lawyer and will end up remembering that it was in Mr. So-and-so's class I learned what it meant to be able to speak with evidence. It was when Mrs. X was teaching us, and she would always say, when you present your essay or your write-ups, please present it with evidence. The largest city in Nigeria is, I'm not just writing, the largest city in Nigeria is Abuja. I am writing the largest city in Nigeria is Abuja, based on 2023 census that showed that Abuja is, I am presenting with facts and figures, evidence. They should produce facts. Climate change is a problem. Why is climate change a problem? Because the weather is hot today. Is that really a fact as to why we are saying we're experiencing climate change? They should be able to get the facts right. They should be able to get the facts right. So even when we think that we have younger learners, we can train them. We can train them. We can train them to understand that there are key questions they ask. And I'll tell you this, when you train children that way, even when they go out and people are saying things, they don't take everything they hear, hook, line, and sinker. They know how to ask the right question. They know how to ask the right question. They know how to ask the why and the what, the where and the when. They can ask the right questions and they are not deceived. You and I will know that right now, if there's one thing that is on the high, it's scammers. But if children are trained to deal with facts and figures, and they can ask intelligent questions, they won't fall prey because they've had it from them from when they were young. So let them present ideas with evidence. They should be able to explain with concrete evidence as to why Abuja is the largest city. The states were talking about different sources of water filtration. You're teaching water filtration, and you want your children to communicate with you which method is the best. They should be able to give you facts. Not just that, I think using cloth to filter water is the best way to purify your water. If they want to tell you that it is charcoal, they should give you the facts. Teach your children to do that. Teach your children to do that. So here, 15-year-old students wrote essay about why global warming is a problem. The essay states a claim about global warming and provides evidence from scientific articles about changing climate pattern and their impact on the ecosystem. They backed up their essay with scientific evidence from an article. Unlike the one that said, they wrote the essay and said the reason why global warming is a problem is because the weather has been very weak the weather this week has been very hot. Could that really be it? Or could it be that we're moving from the rainy season to the dry season? That's why the weather is hot. So there should be some evidence. You're asking them to write on the story about Alice in Wonderland, and a child puts a picture of a scene that they are writing about. That's an evidence already. So let's teach them not to just write. And that's why when we talk about these things, it comes up to the point where you're also teaching them to understand that it's not everything that is published that is true. So before you ascertain a story to be true, you need to go back and look at the evidence behind that story. I remember one time there was a story that was carried out about a popular figure, and they said the person had died. And it was so rampant on the internet that time. And I told someone, I said, me, I don't, once news like this break out, I told the person, I said, when I hear it on channels, if I hear it on channels news, or I read it in a particular page, then I know it is true. Why? I need evidence. So I'm not being carried away by everything that goes by. So let's also train our children that way. The last one for skilled communication is communication designed for a particular audience. When children are designing a communication, it should be for a particular audience. For example, if children are going to do a play, do you have the slide on communication designed for a particular audience? It's not showing.
Yes.
The one I showed now is yes and no.
Okay, let me stop share because I just changed to the communication design for a particular audience. Can you see it? Can you see the communication designed for a particular audience? What? Okay, what are you seeing? Are you seeing a blank screen or you're seeing my slide?
I've seen your profile pic, but nothing has come to the screen yet. I don't think you have shared.
I'm sharing. Let me stop sharing it now and share again.
Okay, so now you have shared, but you are seeing a blank screen.
Is it showing up?
Not yet, but black screen.
Sharing. Is it still blank?
No, your profile is now, I think you just stopped sharing.
No, I didn't stop sharing. I'm still sharing. That's what I'm asking.
Okay. But your profile pic, logo is showing in the center of the page. From our own side.
Hope it's not a network issue.
So from our own end, we tried minimizing the network use here. I don't know if from your side. I don't know if anyone is using the internet apart from you.
No, I'm not sharing my internet with anyone. Can you see it now?
No, just a black screen, but nothing else.
Wow.
Just
Okay.
exited the black screen.
It's still not showing the slide. Is it showing the slide?
No, it's not.
Okay. Let me take it off the slideshow. And
No, so we have it now.
which one do you have now?
Okay, now it's not a slideshow. The first time it came as your monitor, but now we're seeing a slideshow. Communication designed for a particular audience. That's what we have now.
Okay. Okay. Okay, so when we say communication designed for a particular audience, for example, if I'm going to be doing a video presentation for prospective parents, and I'm also going to about my school for prospective parents, and I'm also going to be doing a video presentation for prospective students. Now, I just want to ask this. Do you think the video would be the same for prospective parents and for prospective students? Now, don't bear in mind that the video is about your school. I'm doing a video about my school, but do you think the video I would create that I'm going to show to the prospective students and the video I will create that I'm going to show to prospective parents will be the same?
No.
Eh? No. Why? Can one person come close and just reply so that?
Speak loud so that they just wait a minute.
The communication, if the video that you are going to show the prospective parents and that of the students are not supposed to be the same, because the students are not the same in age with the parents. Their ideas differ too. So the students are supposed to have a different video, while the parents will have a different video too.
Fantastic. Fantastic. Thank you so much. So that's what we now say communication for a particular audience. I am designing this communication. Woo. Woo. I must have an audience in mind. I am writing a letter to the president. It's different from the way I will write the letter to a local government chairman. Even if I am talking about the same issue. Why? They occupy different office and what they can do is different and what I want to target is different. So that's why we say communication, the peak of communication is when you now understand that communication is designed for a particular audience, which is what we teach our children. My children are going to do a debate. The way my children would handle an inter-school debate, maybe it's we as educators, is different from the way I expect my students to go for an inter-school debate, because the judges are different. The judges in the school are different. The judges outside are different. That is communication for a particular audience. So they must have in mind a specific group, specific needs, and shape their communication appropriately. If you say my children have done something and I put it on the internet, who is the internet? The internet is the whole world. There's no specific audience there. But my children have done a project that is going to be kept in the school library. That is a specific audience, because the school library means they have beared in mind that the people that are going to see this work are our own students. The people that are going to benefit from it are our own students. That is who they have designed it for. So that was why I asked that question. You're doing a video. Yes, the video is about your school. It's the same school. The school has not changed. Everything about the school is the same. But I want to present to prospective parents. The way I will go to the parents is different because their mindset is different. What parents are looking for that will catch them is different. What the children are looking for that will also catch them is different. Children might not even be interested in noticing that that video that they showed, the classroom did not look tidy, but trust me, the parents will be interested in knowing that. Because their mindsets are all different. So children, when we teach them communication, even you do a play or you're asking them to come and do a presentation on science, or they're going to do a visual arts presentation, they're different. I'll try and see if I can put that on my slide, maybe for tomorrow's class, or maybe I'll just transfer it to my laptop and I can just show you that image tomorrow. If I present it to you and tell you that the child that did that thing is an SS2 student, you'll be shocked. She created a portrait of her dad wearing an Arsenal shirt. The dad was not wearing an Arsenal shirt in the picture that he was wearing. She had a portrait of her dad, but he wasn't wearing an Arsenal shirt in that picture. It was a normal shirt he was wearing. But she did in fact, when I saw the portrait, I was shocked. Because I started imagining a child of 13, 14 years can come up with this. And then why are we now saying our children are not capable of things? I would show it so that a visual arts, maybe a visual art teacher can help us analyze it. A teacher and maybe an art teacher can help us analyze that image and tell us what they think if it was done professionally or something. I would try to put it, I'll try to put it up maybe tomorrow so that a teacher, even me myself, I'm still asking, is it, if not that we were in school together and when she was doing it, she came and told me, said, I want to do this for my dad. And I was like, oh, it will be a beautiful Christmas gift for your dad. So make sure. So I kept monitoring her, following up and making sure that, oh, you have to meet your deadline. You have to do it properly. I'm not joking. It was a shocker for me when it came out finally. A lot of professional artists where people are going to spend money might not even be able to do what that child has done. So the point is, that's why I keep saying, let's not limit our students. Let's not limit them. Let's not say, oh, they are children, they cannot. No. So communication must be designed for a specific audience. Can you see my next slide? I'm on the next slide. Can you see my next slide?
Yes.
Can you see my next slide?
Yeah.
Okay. So it says The video includes a friendly, now students created video about their school to welcome incoming students. Now, at least I'm glad that somebody was able to give an illustration on this. So I'm sure that comes across to everyone and you understand it. Because how you would send that communication, what you will put in it is very, very important. It's just like what I said. I want to do a mail to the president and I want to do a mail to the local government chairman. I will do them differently. I will word them differently so that they would understand the need to attend to my request. Even us, I mean, even as adults, when we're growing up as children, you find out that the way you ask something from your father is different from the way you ask from your mother. It might be the same thing you're requesting for, but because you know them, you will ask differently. So that's what we're saying, a particular audience. Don't just say, oh, my children did something and they just put it out there. That's not a particular audience. My children designed some work or presentation about something in the school and they post it on the school website. That's a particular audience because they're posting it on the school website. They will be careful what they are doing because they know everybody that is coming to the school website is coming because they want to find out about the school. But if they just do it and post it on the internet, it's a worldwide web. Goes for everyone. It's not attached to anything. So the way they will even do it will be different. So here now, the rubric for skilled communication is a bit trickish. So I would like us to just follow it and pay attention to what I'm going to explain it. Can you see the next slide?
Yeah.
Okay, so it says the communication is not extended or multimodal. Remember what we talked about, extended or multimodal, meaning they are not writing more than one sentence, or even when they are using another means to communicate, the means they are using to communicate is just exactly the same with the other one. It doesn't add more value to the previous means they have used. You're not seeing anything like that. That's level 1. So as far as we are concerned, communication has not even started. Communication has not started, level 1. Communication has started, that is extended or multimodal. Communication has started, that is extended or multimodal. However, what they have submitted, there's no evidence to back it up. Abuja is the largest city in Nigeria. No evidence to back why Abuja is the largest city. Yes, they have written extensively on Abuja, but they have not written anything that shows us evidence to say that truly Abuja is the largest city in Nigeria. They have written an essay on migration from Nigeria to the UK, but they've not shown anything as evidence to show that, yes, there's been a massive movement of people outside the country in 2023. There's no evidence, there are no facts, no figures. They have written details, but there's no evidence. They have even showed pictures of people at the airports to show that people are leaving the country, but there's no evidence as to real facts and figures. Now, the other one now is level 3. There are 2 things that keep communication in level 3. Sometimes there might not be a supporting evidence, but the communication is designed for a particular audience. There might not be. For example, we're talking about doing a presentation, a video presentation for prospective parents. And in the course of doing the video presentation, we're saying our school is the best school in Abuja, but we have not shown any evidence. Yes, we have designed that video presentation for prospective parents, but everything we have said, we did not show any evidence. We didn't show, while we're making our communication, we didn't say we won the award by the FCT minister gave us an award. That's more like an evidence showing why we are saying our school is the best school. Or in the last entrance exam, our students were among the top 5. That's an evidence. We might have designed for a particular audience, but we don't have an evidence for what we're saying. That keeps us at level 3. Or we have an evidence for what we are saying, but we have not designed for a particular audience. That also keeps us at level 3. We only get to level 4, where we have both supporting evidence and design for a particular audience. I hope this is clear with us.
Yes.
Is this clear with us?
Yes.
So this is a flow diagram. Do we see communication here extended or multimodal? No, level 1. Yes, level 2. Is there provision for supporting evidence? Yes, level 3. No, level 2. However, there is no supporting evidence, but it is designed for a particular audience. It can still go to level 3. But it only goes to level 4 when you have both supporting evidence and particular audience. We'll take the last one for today, and tomorrow we'll continue with the others. So we look at the knowledge construction. Did students construct knowledge? So we're going to look at, and knowledge construction is one aspect. Please, lots of questions comes out on this. And I think it's because they feel that that is one aspect that is very key to learning. It's knowledge construction. And are students constructing knowledge? That's the first one. Is knowledge construction main requirement? That's number 2. Are students applying that knowledge they are constructing? Number 3. Is the learning activity interdisciplinary? Number 4. So those are key things we're looking for. Can you hear me?
We can hear you, but we're trying to click down from the slide and remove the slide.
You're trying to.
So you're trying to, most of us are taking notes from the slide and in the slide, that's why they're moving.
Oh, sorry.
It's fast.
So can I change the slide now? I should wait.
Okay, no, okay. Can you go back to the previous slide?
Okay. This one. Is it this one? Yes. Hello? Hello? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Hello?
The tune is awful. Let's give them like they are not hearing. So just hold on. We give them like a 5 minutes break to get the gen up again. Okay?
Okay.
So you can stand up and stretch out for 2-3 minutes and come back, okay? Just stretch out. If you can stand up, if you can. Let's do this mini exercise together if you can. Can we do this mini exercise? So you press right up your hand 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh yeah, can we do it together? Stand up, everyone. Yeah, we don't get stand up. Stand up, everyone. Oh yeah, stretch your right hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Pattern now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Your left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Your right leg. 1, 2, 3, 4. Your left. Now you count down. The next is your right hand 4 times. The next again 3 times. Next 2 and then 1. So take it. 1, 2, 3, go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1. 1.
Oh my God.
Exam? Oh, the exam is as soon as you guys are ready. Once you are ready. No, maybe next time. Okay. Let's continue again. Let's continue. Come back. Are you ready? Are you there?
Yes, I am. I'm
Mrs.
waiting for
Olawale,
you.
are you there?
Yes, I am. I'm waiting for you guys.
She's waiting, though. She's waiting. She's waiting, though. Let's continue.
Okay, so the next one is the knowledge construction. And under knowledge construction, we look at knowledge construction. Knowledge construction as main requirement, applying their knowledge, and then interdisciplinary learning activity. Now, what does knowledge construction mean? Knowledge construction happens when students go beyond knowledge reproduction. Let me put it in simple terms. When students go beyond memorizing. So I teach a child noun. What is a noun? Noun is the name of a person, place, animal, or thing. That's what I've taught the child. And then tomorrow I'm asking the child, can you explain to me what a noun is? The child cannot go beyond saying what I have said. They can't add anything, and they can't say a noun is the name of a person, e.g. Alice, a place, e.g. Lagos. Now they are still defining what noun is, but they're adding something to it. So they can't explain anything beyond the way I have explained it. Then there's no knowledge construction. So you talk of knowledge construction when there's interpretation. They should be able to give meaning beyond what the literary meaning is, just like I said. They should be able to give meaning beyond what the literary meaning is. So the knowledge construction for me is like saying children should be able to think. You know, I went to a school the other day and I saw everywhere on the school, they wrote, "We are a thinking school." And I was quite impressed. We are a thinking school. So it means they're teaching children to empower them with knowledge. They can think, analyze. They should be able to analyze issues. Why is this happening? Why is this not happening? They should be able to do that. Synthesize. Identify the relationship between two or more things. They should be able to compare and contrast. Please, it's not every time you go to class, you start the topic, you should be the one to tell them this. I want to teach on living and non-living things. I don't need to start the class with saying, today I'm going to teach on living and non-living things. For example, living things are things that breathe, living things are things that can move, non-living things are things that cannot breathe. I don't need to start my class with that. Why don't I start my class with showing a picture of maybe a dog and a table? And I'm asking them, can you look at these two things and give me what you think are the difference between them? I've started the class. The children are not dumb. They are not blank. They might not be able to give you 100%, but I'm sure a child will be able to say, the dog can run. The table cannot move from where you put it. The dog can breathe. The table cannot breathe. From there, you now pick it up and start your class. I want to teach on water filtration. Why don't I take water to the class that is not clean and I put it in front of the students and I'm saying, is it possible for this water that is dirty to become clean and we can start drinking it? Is there anything we can do? This water has particles in it. Is there anything you think we can do that can help us to drink this water as clean water? They might not tell you everything perfect, but trust me, they'll give you good ideas. And you can pick from there and start teaching. Don't always feel that the need to start your class with you telling them everything they want to learn for that day. It's even safer and easier for children to understand when you build from a place of knowledge they know. And two, sometimes the knowledge they know might not be correct. So it helps you too to correct that knowledge so they don't transfer it into the new learning you want to teach them. So very important. I want to teach them about types of family. Why don't I have pictures of a nuclear family, an extended family, a polygamous family? Why don't I have those pictures? And I just tell them, sit in group of threes, and I want you to discuss among yourself and come up with what you think is this family is representing. Your class has started. In fact, by the time they give you the idea, imagine if you wanted to teach them 10 things, and the first 5 minutes that you ask them to brainstorm, out of the 10 things you want to teach them, they have already given you 7. Has it not made your work a lot easier? So you just quickly fine-tune that 7, then you hit on the remaining 3. Instead of starting your class with the first 7 that they already know. And because you're starting with what they already know, they won't even listen. Because what you're teaching them, they feel they know. So why should they listen? So by the time you even get to the 3 that they don't know, they've already lost interest in your class. They're not there. So even the one they need to know, they end up not getting it. Can you see my next slide?
Yes.
So yes or no? Students use details in a story. Okay, good, thank you. So students use details in a story to infer the reason why a character committed a crime. That's knowledge construction. We're talking about, oh, there's something that happened and some criminals were caught and this is this. Why do you think that person committed that crime? They come up with ideas. This is the reason, this is the reason. From there, you know what to teach them. Do you now think that even if that person was in that situation, do you think that it was the best thing for the person to do to have committed that crime? Can you suggest better ways this person would have come out of that situation and they didn't need to commit the crime? Do you know that you're teaching them things? You're teaching them things. So they get to understand that when I grow up, if I'm in this position and XYZ happen, I don't need to do this. I can do this. I'll give an example. A lot of times you say children cheat in exam because maybe the child wants to study medicine and he feels that, I need to make 300 in my JAM to study medicine. So I'll go and forge my results to get that 300. But if the child knows that, okay, yes, I made 250. I might not be able to go in for medicine with 250, but I can go in for anatomy with 250 and be very serious in my first year. And at the end of my first year, I am transferring for my second year to medicine. Why would the child want to cheat or falsify results? Yes, this is what I have, but what can I make out of it? There are things you impact children with that it empowers them. Just like I said, let children do the children should be able to compare and contrast. That's knowledge construction. Not that you are the one that have already done the compare and contrast for them. Why? You want to teach them on living and non-living things. Why are you the one coming to tell them what? Don't they have living and non-living things around them in their environment that they know they see? Let them compare. I want to teach them about the difference between liquid and solid. Don't they have liquid and solid? Are they not seeing? Are they not using it? Why don't I just put it and tell them to give me the difference? They might not be able to give me some very deep differences, but the basic they would know because they interact with these things. So that's what we're saying. Let's move beyond knowledge reproduction. Let's start entering into knowledge construction. Let's go beyond knowledge reproduction. Let's begin to enter into knowledge construction. I want to teach my students on parallel lines, and I look at their classroom and they have burglaries in their classroom, and I'm asking, what do you think is here? Wow, these burglaries are made with iron rods. Do you think that it's possible that, if not that they stopped this iron rod at this point, let's say we just want to continue this iron rod, continue. Are we ever going to get to a point where these iron rods will meet each other? Some will say, yes. You say, okay, why? Why do you think? Why are you saying yes? Another person will say, no. You too, why are you saying no? They give you their ideas. You start from there. The one that is saying no might just explain. In fact, they can even explain it in such, because they are explaining it in their own way. They will explain it in such a simple way that might not even be what we used to teach the others, and they will understand in the class that you are trying to talk about parallel lines, and they go from there, and that knowledge stays with them for life. And they keep using it. So let's go beyond that. The next one, we talked about knowledge construction. So knowledge construction, we have said, give children opportunity to think. Now children are thinking, but the question now is the main requirement knowledge construction? And when we talk about the main requirement knowledge construction, where children are spending the most of their activity, is it on effort and time? I'm going to give an example using what I just said about the living and non-living things. So I have a class. My children spend 20 minutes copying the characteristics of living and non-living things on the board. But I only use 2 minutes for them to think of. What do you think living and non-living thing is? What do you think where they need to think? They only use 2 minutes. The one that they don't need to think, they will copy directly from my board and have it in their book. They have used 20 minutes. Can you really say your main requirement there was knowledge construction? Were you really making them to do the knowledge construction? Or I put images of living and non-living things, and I ask my children to look at these things, and then they spend 10 minutes coming up with the different characteristics, putting it together and giving it back to me. And then they just spend 2 minutes writing down the notes on it. Which one will pay the children more? Is it the one they have thought of? Is it the one they have come up with? Or is it the one they have copied that will stick to them more? So the one they have thought of, the one they have come up with, will live with them for life. So the question is, in your lesson planning, are children spending more time where they need to think, where they need to do knowledge construction, or are they spending more time where they need to memorize? What's their time and effort in your class spent on? What is your time and effort in your class spent on? Is it spent on areas where they are being impacted with knowledge? Is it spent on areas where they're just memorizing or they're just reproducing what you have given them, or they are cramming? So it's very important, effort and time. So here, a student made a short list of important details from a story, then wrote an essay using these details as evidence for why a character committed a crime. Short list, essay. No is long list, 2 sentence. Long list, they took the book, they wrote all the things in the book. After they finish, everything they've written, as long as it is, they're only able to create 2 sentences from it. But they use the book, they wrote a short list. After they finish, they are able to create a full essay, meaning they have spent more time on the aspect where they need to think than on the aspect where they are just copying. So while we plan for next term, as much as we're saying we're doing MCE, we have to write an exam, everybody wants to get certified, it's beyond that. While you're planning your classes, ask yourself this question: this activity I have planned for today, are my children going to think through? Or are they just going to be memorizing? Am I really making the impact in their life? Or, like my boss will say, am I doing cash and carry? So the next one is apply their knowledge. Can you see my next slide? So when we say apply knowledge, students must apply their knowledge when they use the knowledge they have constructed to support another knowledge construction task in a new context. I'll give you an example. Now, the visual out, let me give an example. I wish I can, I'll see if I can share that image after this session. I had to ask the visual art teachers. In fact, when she told me she wanted to make a portrait of her father, I just thought it was just one small, simple thing. And when they finished, I had to call the visual art teacher. I said, you didn't tell me that you have started teaching these children this level of the guy said no, that they taught them this. She just translated that idea and created this. So the question is, you're teaching children things in your class. Can they take that knowledge beyond your classroom? Let me give an example. It might sound very funny. I had this colleague of mine. Her husband wanted the child to go to a federal government school, but she wanted her child in a private school because she was like, federal, never. No, she doesn't want her child to suffer. She doesn't want her child to this. Hey. So the day she was saying it, I now told her, I said, let him go. I went to a federal government school, and federal government colleges are not bad. That in fact, this your boy might come out stronger than the siblings that have gone to the private school. Leave him alone. And besides, it's your husband that is, I just thought I said it's your husband that is paying the school fees. So if you now insist and put him in the private school and he doesn't give you the money for school fees, what will you do? Do you have money to pay school fees? Leave him, let him go. I said, if he goes there, GS1, GS2, and is not okay, you can always transfer him to the private school. But if he's already in private school and you now think, oh, I should have let him in the federal school, you can't put him there again. So leave him. So I was able to, we had that conversation, and eventually she was like, okay, let the boy go. So the boy went to the federal school and came back. During the holiday, she said one day she came back and the boy had killed a snake in their compound. You're laughing. She said the boy had killed a snake that came into their compound. And she came back and saw the dead snake like this. So she was shocked. And then she noticed that the snake was, there were stones around the snake. Do you understand? So she said, she was not asking, what happened? Who helped you people? Then I said, no, nobody helped us. So it's Timileyi that killed the snake. She was like, eh? How did, even she said that is the mother, she would jump and run for her life if she sees one. So she said, she now asked the boy, how did you do it? And the boy said something. He said, there was a day a snake came to our hostel, entered our hostel, and I saw the way the seniors killed it. He said, immediately when the snake entered, that the senior said, everybody silence. That if you are making noise, the snake will hide. But if you keep quiet, the snake will come out. And that immediately they all kept quiet. Everywhere was now quiet. The snake crawled out, and that those boys now used stone to trap the snake, and they killed it. That was, lo and behold, that was the same thing he did. So he said when they saw the snake, that he told the sisters, enter, 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 and keep quiet, no noise, so that it will not hide, it will come out. And immediately it came out. He trapped it with the stones and killed it. What am I trying to say? He got knowledge from school, right? Eh? Something happened in his house. He was able to apply that knowledge. We are teaching a lot of topics that are real life topics. We're teaching a lot of topics in our schools that are real life topic. Can our children take those topics home and apply it if they are faced with those scenarios at home? Or will they be looking and not know what to do? How well can children apply knowledge in a new context? How well can children apply knowledge in a new context? How well can they apply knowledge beyond our classroom? Are we getting them to that point where they are beyond our classroom? They can apply the knowledge we're impacting in their lives. They can see situations around them and say, oh, they taught us this thing. So it means that we should do this to take care of this situation. Knowledge in a new context. And sometimes you find out that some children, let me give you an example. I taught you area of a circle. When I taught you area of a circle, I use whole numbers. I give you a question that has to do with decimal. They can't answer it again. Why? They can't answer it again. In fact, it's so amazing. You teach some children 3 times 4 is 12. Ask them 4 times 3. They can't. So that's why I always ask, are they able to apply knowledge? Are they really able to apply knowledge? So that's some of the things you should ask yourself. Have I taught these children in a way that they are able to see their learning beyond the 4 walls of the classroom? If children cannot apply knowledge, everything we're doing is not worth it. If they cannot apply knowledge, can I teach my children on cleanliness and the value of it, and they can go back home and make sure that that is played out in their homes? Can I teach my children home economics class? We learned how to cook jollof rice today, and my children can use that knowledge of how to cook jollof rice and make fried rice tomorrow. Or when they have to make fried rice tomorrow, I have to teach them every single thing again. Can I teach children how to cook a goosey soup? And they can use that knowledge to know how to make an okra soup very well. Or do I have to still teach them that one? Applying knowledge in a new context. So students analyze demographic statistics from their hometown and then use their understanding of population trend to develop a plan for an upcoming housing project. Are you with me, please? So beyond everything is that question: are students applying knowledge in a new context? Are they able to use this knowledge beyond this classroom? If they are not able to use the knowledge beyond your classroom, then you have not impacted. The last one is the interdisciplinary learning activities. And when we talk about, can you see this slide, please?
It is now slowly.
Can you see this one?
Yes.
The interdisciplinary learning activity.
Yes, we can see it.
Okay. Just like the name goes, interdisciplinary, you must see at least 2 academic subjects. So there should be a combination of maybe music and history, music and arts, maths and music. How am I going to teach that? How do I infuse music into maths so it helps my students understand better? How do I infuse history? I was telling someone the other day, I was searching for a worksheet online and I came across this worksheet. I even promised the last people I'll try and put them together and send it to them. It's a maths worksheet on the 11 times table. It was a maths worksheet on the 11 times table. However, there was word search. I hope you know that word search is not maths. Eh? How many of us know this crossword word search puzzles that they do? Eh?
Yes. Yes.
Is that one maths? Is that maths?
No.
But do you know how this activity was? It was the 11 times table, and they had to do, I should have it on my laptop. Maybe I can show it to you guys before we close. It was 11 times table, and they had to do like 6 times 11. So when you do 6 times 11, that gives you 66. Then you go on the word search, look for the word 66. That was a merge of English and maths. Now, there's some children that would engage very well and learn that your 6 times table just because of that word search that is there. Because they want to do the word search. That's their own thing. There's some people that might learn that topic on erosion you're teaching them because of the music you infuse in erosion when you were teaching that topic. And that's why we say interdisciplinary learning activity. I am teaching on ratio. Why can't I bring the home economics teacher into my class and tell them, use the fact, we're going to bake cake today. If we need to bake cake and we use 500 grams of flour, we are going to use 6 eggs. If we now want to do 1,000 grams of flour, how many eggs are we going to need? Won't that help? Won't the children understand your ratio and your proportion better when you do all that one than when you come and say 2:3 is, what is X ratio 6? And the children will not be confused because they've seen that X there. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. So while you're teaching that your concept, in social studies, ask yourself, is there something in physical education I can bring in that will help them understand this topic? Or I'm teaching something in science. Is there something in visual arts or fine arts, creative arts I can bring in that can help my children understand this thing better? That is the interdisciplinary learning activity. Is there a way I can bring in something in history that can help my children understand the maths I'm trying to teach. I want to teach maths. And I said, in this season, let us calculate the average goal that Chelsea has scored this season, even though Chelsea has not been scoring goals. Sorry, I hope there's no Chelsea fan there. Or there are Man U fans that they have not been, or Man U fans that have not been scoring goals. Don't be angry. Eh? No problem. You see, there are some people now, maybe they have not said anything since I started this class. The moment I said Chelsea now, they've responded. Why? That is the one that appeals to them. So you now tell them, let's look at the goals Chelsea has scored this season. How many goals did Chelsea score against this? They will write it. How many goals did Chelsea score against this? They will write it. How many goals did Chelsea score? They know everything. They will write it. You now said, so how many matches have Chelsea played? This is the number of matches. So can we calculate the average goal? Average goal Chelsea has scored. I'm telling you the truth. They will give you the answer. Or tomorrow is going to be Arsenal Man U. Who do you think is going to win the match? You have a class, you are trying to teach probability. You're asking, who do you think is going to win the match? You know, the Man U fans will say, it is Man U that will win. The Arsenal fans will say, no, it is Arsenal. You now say, okay, let's see how probability can help us. Let's see if we can use probability. So, okay, how many matches in the last 3 years have Arsenal and Man U played? We look at all the matches. How many have Arsenal won? How many have Chelsea won? What is the probability of Arsenal winning? What is the probability of Chelsea winning? Have I now brought in sports into my maths class? Do you think that my students will be more interested in understanding that probability, thought that way? Unlike when I say the probability of is 2. The probability of is 3. Calculate. This is what we're saying. Bring in interdisciplinary activity. It helps. It engages them more. It commits them more. It engages them more. It commits them more. It helps them more. It makes them understand better. They are more willing to engage than anything you're doing. It's important that we teach beyond our present classroom and environment, or teach beyond our present context of our subject. Let's diversify a bit and engage our learners more. Yes, students in science class write persuasive letter to an environmental organization about the results of their experiment. Now, they have written a persuasive letter. They carried out an experiment, which is obviously science-based, but they have written a persuasive letter. The educator graded the quality of their data and on their writing skills. That's a mix of maths and that's a mix of science and English. But if you only pay attention to the data, you're not grading their writing skills. So whether the grammatical error is there, you don't care. Whether there's this, you can't call it interdisciplinary. And please, use of ICT is not interdisciplinary because it's expected that ICT should be embedded in every subject. So use of ICT is not interdisciplinary. So don't say that my children use PowerPoint. They are expected to use PowerPoint. So it is not interdisciplinary. So here, number 1, in the learning activity does not show that children are constructing knowledge. They are just reproducing information that you have given to them. Nothing is added. Nothing is subtracted. word for word, how you gave it to them. That's level 1. Level 2 is when they now get to the point where they begin to interpret, they begin to do the compare, contrast. Knowledge is coming up. They're beginning to think. Level 3 is they've gone beyond just thinking. But you now find out that they spend more time in the area where they're thinking, because, I mean, you can't rule out the fact that there will be times where they are, for example, when you say define, there are some define that even external examples say if you don't define it exactly, they won't grade you. Yes, we know those cases. But as much as we're saying define, but when they define, they add more to it. So main requirement now is now knowledge construction. We're at level 3. Level 4 is they've gone beyond main requirement knowledge construction. They can apply this knowledge in a new context. They can apply this knowledge in a new context. They can, let me give an example. I'm teaching on Christian religious knowledge, and I'm teaching about the story of Joseph. Do you know that that is politics?
Yes.
Can children transfer that knowledge into the Nigerian political system? I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. Eh?
Yes.
So it's a biblical principle. It's CRS, but they can now begin to relate and say, oh, no, this is what is expected of a leader. As a leader, they should be able to plan. Joseph was able to plan and save the country from years of famine. And then they begin to look at, if I want to choose a leader, this is why I should choose a leader. Yes, it's CRS, they were taught that, but they're applying it in life now. And then the peak of it is when it becomes an interdisciplinary activity. So you can see them play around with 2 or more concepts. Yes, I was taught probability, but I'm able to use my probability, look into my Chelsea and Arsenal game. Yes, I was taught parallel lines. Yes, but I'm able to look at when they were building my father's house, and I'm like, the way this guy is doing this thing, it might not work. This thing is not straight. Because if you look at it, at that point, if it continues, they are going to meet. And this thing is supposed to be parallel, equal space in between. They're able to transfer knowledge. Yes, in home economics class, we're taught how to bake cake. And we get home, and I'm telling my mom we can bake bread. And we bake that bread successfully. I'm able to use the knowledge. So that is very, very important. Transfer knowledge, make it interdisciplinary. Make it interdisciplinary. So this is also a flow diagram. Required knowledge construction, no, level 1. Yes, level 2. Main requirement is knowledge construction, no, level 2. Yes, level 3. Students apply their knowledge in new context, no, level 3. Yes, level 4. And the learning activity is interdisciplinary. If it's no, level 4. If it's yes, level 5. So we're going to continue with self-regulation tomorrow when we meet again. Any questions? Any question? Yes.
I have
I'm
a
here.
question based on. Okay, I have a question based on knowledge construction. For instance, if you are teaching mathematics on maybe on solving an equation that involves a bracket. No, it has a formula. Now, based on the knowledge construction,
Yes.
is it possible for you to tell the students to think of another formula on their own, apart from the one that you have been using mathematically?
Yes.
Not using a real responsible.
Yes. Yes.
If they find out.
Yes, you can ask the students to come up
from their own,
with
maybe on their own to construct their own formula. And then you as a teacher, is it possible for you to use that their own formula to teach another class or to continue with them?
Yes, you can. Now, let me tell you something. Let me say this. When they come up with that their own formula, I will advise you, please, when you're teaching the next class, as you are using your formula, also use their formula. I'll tell you why. Okay. They came up with that formula because that's what they understand, as long as it is mathematically correct.
Okay.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
Eh?
I understand. Yes.
As long
combine
as
their own formula
with your own, because the truth is, it is that their formula that they understand.
Yes.
It is that their formula that they understand. Yes, you can teach them your own formula, but also use, yes, allow them, because the reason why they are saying it to you is because that's what they understand. Unless it is not mathematically correct, then if it is not mathematically correct, then you can now say, okay, let me show you this, and you tweak it for them. You understand what I'm saying?
I understand now. Thank you so much.
So please, let them use that formula. Yes, any other question?
My question is it possible for us to get the right up? Because some of us are jotting, but we are not able to capture everything.
Please reach out to Mr. Albert. Mr. Albert should send you an e-book on MCE.
This whole section is being recorded. This whole section is being recorded, including it's like have it as video like this to be sent to us. So you don't have to just watch it and go through the whole class and do that. Yes, when you take to the whole slides, what you have said, it's being recorded right now. So you can also time this.
Okay, so can you see my screen, please? Can you see my screen? Eh? Yeah. So this is an example of the work I was trying to tell you when I say interdisciplinary. Now this is maths. The other side is word search, is English. One side is maths. The other side is word search, is English. And I can tell you for free, there are children that probably might not want to answer this question, but because they want to do the word search, they will be forced to answer that question. There are some children that if you had written the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 question here on the board, it will take them 10 hours to solve it. But because of the word search, it will take them 2 minutes. They will solve it quickly. They will even be fast. They will not be lazy. Because the word search is catching their eye. So what am I saying? Find a way. Find a way. And like I said, don't assume that they are not capable. I'm telling you the truth. That's a disservice. I want to show you the picture I told you guys about. Can you see the picture? Can you see the picture? Can you see the picture? Hello?
Yes, you can hear you.
Can you see the picture?
No.
I'm sharing a picture on my screen. Can you see it?
Yes. Mr. Panon, can you please go? Yeah. So
Do I have a
having our,
visual arts teacher there? Do I have a visual arts teacher there?
Yes.
I'm here with you.
Okay, so you are the visual art teacher. Can you just help me grade this?
Okay.
Do you think it was done by a student or do you think it was done by a professional?
A student.
Eh? No, I'm just saying, no, forget that she's, look at the
Okay,
image
it's done
itself.
by,
What do you think?
it's done by professional. It's done by professional. It looked like as if it's done by professional. Exactly.
It wasn't done by a professional. She's my student. I sat with her. She was doing this from day one. She spent like 3 weeks on it.
That's why I said it looks as if it's done by the professional.
Now, but what's the point?
Personally, if I'm to read this, because I, as a bigger art teacher, as a professional, also, I can pick up some errors that I'm seeing right now. So if I am asked to do this same portrait, you see the differences.
Yes, but what I'm saying is it something you would have guessed? No, I'm just saying, what if I didn't put the child there and I put it up? Would you have guessed that it was done by a child?
No.
So that's what I'm trying to tell you. Don't think that your children are not capable. That's the point I want you to make. Do you understand?
Yes.
Don't think that they are not capable. If you just push them a little bit, you will be amazed at what they come up with in your class. You'll be amazed at what they come up with in your class. You'll be amazed at the knowledge they produce in your class. So let's think about it and let's see how we walk around with our students. Any other questions, please? Okay, so tomorrow we'll have another class, and then on Wednesday will be questions. On Wednesday, I'm going to be putting up questions, and so you need to prepare and get ready. So see if you can answer the questions. So prepare for Wednesday class. Tomorrow we'll look at the last 3 rubrics, and then Wednesday class will now go into question and answer. So thank you, everyone. Hopefully I'm able to sort out this camera issue so you get to see my face. I don't know what's happening. All right. So see you all and thank you. Bye.